Maybe Paolo Banchero didn't understand how much playing for your country means around the world, but now an entire country hates this man. The head of Italian basketball said, betrayal, especially in basketball, is a strong word, but he fooled us. A fan said, you didn't disrespect a sports team, you disrespected your roots and an entire nation. What could he have done to make people so mad? Don't they get he was born and raised in the US? Actually, it's not that simple. Paolo had a verbal commitment to play for Italy, but backed out at the last second. When Paolo was 16 years old, Team USA had zero interest in him. They played the U17 World Cup with guys like James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, Evan Mobley. Paolo was not on their radar, but Italian scouts noticed a future star before the rest of the world caught on. He was born in Seattle, but had Italian roots. His family is so proud of their heritage, they have names like Mario and Angelo, Armando, Guido. So Italian officials contacted Paolo's family. It turned out his great-grandfather had moved from Italy to Seattle, and neither Paolo or his dad had ever been to the motherland. But because USA had disrespected him, Paolo would love to represent his roots. The Italian government, so excited, they had him travel to their embassy in San Francisco. There, Paolo obtained an Italian passport despite never setting foot in the country. He showed off photos in his new Italian jersey. He said, it kept building inside me, you know, this interest for Italy. I haven't been out there yet, but man, the amount of love I'm getting from there is crazy. Team USA? No, I'm with Italy now. Just imagine how excited they were when Paolo rocketed up the draft. He became the number 2 prospect behind Chet Holmgren in high school, committed to Duke. Then after starring for the Blue Devils, the Magic shocked everyone by taking him number 1 overall. Fans in Italy so excited, they had a player to build around. Dude showed love back, taking rookie pictures with his Italian flag. But how would he play in the NBA? Been plenty of number 1 overall busts. Well, it turns out he was so good, it was the biggest Rookie of the Year landslide in years. The Magic gave him the keys to their franchise, and he looked like a vet from day one. Averaged 20 points, 7 boards, and 4 dimes. The Italian officials must have felt so proud of themselves. They identified this star when the Americans showed no interest. However, there was a catch. A player is locked into his country only after he plays for them in a major competition. But because of COVID, Paolo did not play for Italy in the Tokyo Olympics. That meant he was still just a verbal commitment. Then, after all of his success, cracks started to show in his Italian pride. In October 2023, he said, I haven't decided yet, actually. Italy came forward when I was discarded by Team USA in high school, but in the meanwhile, many things have happened. Now the situation is different. Uh-oh! So with that doubt on the table, Team USA jumped in. He is one of those players that we're following for the World Cup and also for the future of Team USA. We know he has different options, but we're optimistic about our chances. Yeah, you are. This is like if the Charlotte Hornets had interest in a free agent who committed to them, then all of a sudden Steph Curry and the Warriors swooped in. We know what's gonna happen. And yes, 2 months before the World Cup, Shams tweeted, Paolo Banchero has committed to play for Team USA's national team at the FIBA World Cup. Oh no! And the worst part, he didn't even give Italy a heads up. Paolo was in Milan, Italy for this decision, but he avoided a meeting with the Italian head coach. They found out like the rest of us on Twitter. And yes, I know Paolo's mom played for Team USA as well. Look, this was not just a kid from America going to play for his home country. This was a little bit more than that. Yes, I think betrayal is the accurate word. So, of course, during the World Cup, this was a huge story. Italy and USA played. Paolo had a huge block and a big dunk.
Player of his ilk. Oh! And the alley-oop! And Banchero!
Italian fans booed him and held up signs calling him a traitor.
You have a message for the Italian fans.
No.
But something else happened at the World Cup that should be made into a movie. No one is talking about this, but it shows why these countries care so much. Sudan has been brutalized by civil war going back to the 1950s. Millions of people have been killed and displaced. But in 2011, the country of South Sudan was created. And at this World Cup, they became the only African nation to make the 2024 Olympics. People in the war-torn country actually have a reason to celebrate, but it's all because of a player who had maybe the worst contract in NBA history. The Lakers gave Luol Deng $72 million, but he washed out of the league 3 years later. After his retirement though, Deng took over South Sudan basketball and personally funded their program just to help people in that country. He set up community programs, bought up-to-date courts and equipment, and he supported players and coaches on and off the court with his own money. But, of course, he had to get players, which was tough because most of the talent had already left. So he reached out to anyone with ties to the area, like Wenyen Gabriel of the Lakers. He was born in Sudan but fled to Egypt at just 2 weeks old. Wenyen grew up in New Hampshire as a refugee. Nuni Omat, born in a Sudanese refugee camp in Kenya before relocating to the US where he plays in the G League. Peter Yoke, born in Sudan, but his family moved to Uganda after his father and grandfather were killed in civil wars. He landed in Des Moines and starred at the University of Iowa. But Deng also got a 7'2" 16-year-old named Kaman Mulak. He was born in a Sudanese camp in Uganda and has been developing at the NBA Academy in Senegal, where he's a prospect for the 2025 NBA draft. So with this team together, Deng paid for flights to Kenya and Tunisia and Australia to qualify for the World Cup. There, they went 3-2 as the #1 African team just 3 years after Deng took over the program. It's an unbelievable story. It's an underdog story that not just for the South Sudanese, not just for Africa, but for the rest of the world, it is such a unique achievement because it's beyond basketball. There are only 12 countries in the whole world that make the Olympics. One of them just became a country in 2011. The odds of that are wild. And the timing of this story is crazy because my wife has a connection to Sudan and they need our help. Her friend just contacted us because her family is trying to escape Sudan to one of these refugee camps. But of course, the journey isn't free. He's got siblings there who are 10, 8, and 5 years old. And so far, 28 people have donated, but they're lucky to get like 50% of this money because to get it to them, you've got like middlemen in the country or like hand-to-hand transactions, a lot gets stolen. So I offered to put the fundraiser on AM Hoops to help them out. I think it would be so cool if we could get just one family to safety in Sudan. These are literally just kids dealing with war and poverty, and I was so inspired by Luol Deng that I thought we could do some good too. So guys, click the link in the description, donate if you can. I think it would be so cool if AM Hoops got them to their goal.